Hi everyone, we are excited to have you here in today's fun-filled learning session at Uolo. Here is a quick look at how you can submit your work after the class. As a first step, go to live.uolo.com. You can use any browser to access this site. On this page, you will see a list of all our classes. Scroll down and you can see the Submit Your Work button. And then you will see a list of the classes that you've last attended, which could, for example, show the dance or craft or science experiment classes you've attended recently. Next, it will show you the list of children whose names are registered in this mobile number. Choose your name from this list to submit your work. For instance, if you are Satvik Kumar, choose that name. And then choose the class for which you would like to make your submission. For example, if you've attended the New Year's Masquerade Party session and you'd like to make the submission for this class, click on the Submit Your Work button below that. And then upload the photo you've taken. Choose the image from your phone and click Submit. You can scroll down and view all your past submissions and see how many of your friends or peers have liked your work. You can also see others' work and like their work to inspire your friends. If you want to showcase your work on social media, that too is very simple. Click on Share, copy the link and post it on Instagram or Facebook or any other platform of your choice. Just a tiny reminder, your submission looks a lot better if you could click a photo in the landscape mode rather than the portrait mode. Do not forget to tag us at YOLO_app. I'm eagerly looking forward to all your submissions right after this class.
Hi everybody, how are you all? Good? That's great. Okay, so here I am again with another interesting story of Tenali Rama. I hope you're enjoying the series. Yes? Oh, that's good. So today we are going to do the third story of Tenali Rama, and let me tell you all, it is super interesting. It is how he is going to crack up another king and he's going to show his wit. Of course, we know that King Krishnadeva Raya, who ruled over Vijayanagara kingdom, loved Tenali Rama because of his wit. Okay, now there's another king who's going to come into the story who wants to check Tenali Rama's wit. So he basically wants to know that whatever he's heard about Tenali Rama, is that really true? Or people just bluff because they give him like a really easy cases to solve, mysteries to solve. Well, whatever we've seen till now, the two mysteries that we've seen that he's cracked the cases were indeed a little tricky ones, right? So here is another story. Let's see how this king finally gets to know how smart Tenali Rama is. Okay, so before we begin with it, do you all want to know, do you want to guess the king's name? Okay, so I'm going to give you all clues. Let's see if you all can get it right. First is, he is a very famous Mughal emperor. Second, he ruled over Delhi. Of course, Mughal emperor, so he ruled over Delhi. And what third can I give you? I think these two are really easy ones. And yeah, very famous Mughal emperor, and he ruled over Delhi. If you all know, he used to stroll around the banks of Yamuna River. So I think these three clues are enough. Let's see if you all can get it right. So why don't you all type your answers in the chat box? Remember, he's a Mughal emperor. Don't give me any other emperor's name because I've just narrowed it down to only the Mughal emperor, so that becomes easier for you all. And the only ones who ruled in Delhi. Of course, most of the Mughal emperors ruled over Delhi. That was their capital. So yes, let's see if you'll get it right. Everyone, put your answers down if you'll have any in the chat box. This is a tricky riddle. Let's see if you'll learned anything from Tenali Rama. No, using Google if you'll know the answer, very good. Otherwise, I'm going to give you all the answer anyway. So don't worry about it. Let's check if anyone knows the answers. Okay. Not really anybody. Okay, so I'm gonna show you all the picture. Um, won't be the most accurate one, but maybe if y'all can guess. Do you know who he is? Of course, it's not the most accurate one, but okay, so this is King Akbar. He's one of the most famous Mughal emperors who ruled in Delhi. So he's the one who wanted to test Tenali Rama. So without wasting any time, should we get started with the story? Yes? Oh, that's great. So I'm just going to share the story with you all. I'll be narrating it. Just pay close attention to it. Yes? Okay, so then let's get started. Okay, so today we are going to do a story of Tenali Rama in the Delhi Darbar. Delhi Darbar because King Akbar lived over there and whatever happens in his Darbar. So like King Krishnadeva ruled over Vijayanagara. This is King Akbar who ruled over Delhi and he's one of the most famous emperors of his time, Mughal emperors. Okay, so King Akbar had heard a lot about Krishnadeva, so he told his minister, I want to test how smart is Tenali Rama. So he instructed one of his messengers to go to Vijayanagara and ask King Krishnadeva if he could allow Tenali Rama to come to his court. Now, of course, no king wants to spoil any relation with the other kings, right? So, and also because Tenali was like a treasure. Okay, he was a piece that he was a person whom King Krishnadeva was extremely proud of, and he wanted to flaunt because he was so wise that the other kings were really jealous. No one had as smart minister as Tenali Rama. So the messenger reached Vijayanagara and he met the king Krishnadeva and he came there and he said, hello king, greetings from King Akbar. He has heard a lot about Tenali Rama and he would like to invite Tenali Rama to his place. And of course, king got a moment to flaunt Tenali Rama. And they did not have any bad relation. Like kings have a real bad relation and they also fight wars. But Akbar and Krishnadeva did not really have bad relations. So King Krishnadeva agreed and he sent Tenali Rama to Akbar's court. So finally, Tenali arrived at the guest house that was there in Delhi and he just got freshened up. In the meanwhile, King Akbar instructed his courtiers that remember, Tenali is very smart, but even on his wittiest jokes, you're not supposed to laugh. And everyone, of course, they could not go against the king, so all of them together agreed and in unison said yes. And he also said that, remember, we are the ones who need to prove that we are smarter. Okay, so even if you feel like laughing, control your laughter. Everyone agreed and said in unison, yes, king, yes, king. Next morning, Tenali Rama arrived at the court and he greeted everyone and he started telling his jokes. One day, and suddenly, one of the courtiers, can you see? He's yawning and he interrupted Tenali Rama. What will happen if someone interrupts you when you're narrating an interesting story or a joke? You feel discouraged. You feel like, was my joke that bad that people are yawning at me now? That's what was going on in Tenali's mind. And he was astonished. This continued for days together. Every day, Tenali used to come and give a new joke, give a new story, but they used to just yawn. And Tenali got very upset. On the 16th day, he decided he would not at any cost go to the Darbar. He thought, let me see where Krishnadeva goes every day. Let me also find out what is his schedule. Let me see if I can crack him up and make him laugh. So he decided to disguise himself and follow So he disguised himself in a way that no one, you know, recognizes him from top to toe. So he waited outside the palace and saw King Akbar go out with two of his courtiers. They were going along the banks of Yamuna, and Tenali Rama followed them very closely. Yes, and there he met a beggar and gave him a handful of coins. And he said, "Listen now, you better make use of these coins very carefully." Tenali Rama, he thought of a plan and decided to execute it. Clear up till here? So I'm going to narrate the story again from the start up till here. Okay, so today we are going to do a story on Tenali Rama in the Delhi Darbar, but a little faster. So, like Krishna Deva Raya is the king of Vijayanagara. Similarly, King Akbar was the emperor of Delhi. So he had heard a lot about Tenali Rama and his wit. He decided to test his wit. He's like, let's see how smart Tenali is. He called the messenger and he asked him to go and summon to Krishna Deva Raya to send Tenali Rama. So the messenger went to Krishna Deva Raya's Darbar and he read, "Greetings from King Akbar. He would like to invite the most wittiest person in your court, that is Tenali Rama, to his palace." Krishna Deva Raya agreed to it. Tenali Rama the next day left for Delhi and reached Delhi. Once he was in his dressing room, his guest house, King Akbar summoned his ministers, his courtiers, and he said, "Remember, Tenali Rama is very smart. So we have to make sure that we do not fall for his jokes. We need to make sure that we make him feel that his jokes are not that simple and not that easy for us to crack." So everyone said in unison, "Yes, master." Next day, Tenali Rama arrived at the court and he started telling his jokes and his stories. But to his astonishment, the minister started yawning, and he started thinking, "Are my jokes that sad, that slow, that everyone's yawning?" This continued for days together, and they just kept yawning, and no one really laughed at his wittiest of jokes. Then Tenali Rama got a little upset, and the next day he thought of a plan. He said, "On the 16th day, I'm not going to the court. Let me follow the king and check where he goes. Maybe I can crack him up." So what he did was he disguised himself in a way that no one recognizes him and waited for the king outside his palace. Just then, King Akbar went out of his palace with his two ministers. There, he spotted a beggar, and Tenali Rama was following him. Gave a handful of bag of coins to a beggar, and he said, "You better make proper use of these coins." And Tenali Rama just then got some idea to crack Akbar up. Okay, so what do you think? Do you think now Akbar, Akbar was a very ruthless ruler, he did not spare anyone who did wrong to him. So Tenali has tried a lot to make everyone laugh in the Delhi Darbar for the last 15 days, right? It's only on the 16th day that he decided to follow Akbar. Do you think that Tenali Rama will be able to make Akbar and his courtiers laugh? Yes? Why don't you all do one thing? Quickly go to your chat section and just write yes or no. So we know Tenali is very smart. But do you think Tenali will be able to make all his courtiers, all Akbar's courtiers and Akbar laugh? Do you think he's that witty? And how come? Now, depends on you all what you'll say, yes or no. I have a personal question that in my mind. I'm just going to put it forward. How can Tenali Rama get an idea by looking at Akbar giving a handful of coins to a beggar? Now, that's really shocking. I really want to know. I'm intrigued. Like, what plan can you make out of it? Like, if I would have been there, I would have gone blank. Okay, like, what can I do? Maybe make fun of it, but that's so wrong to make fun of someone who like any downtrodden person. That's extremely wrong. In fact, we should never look down upon people. So, of course, that was not his plan. he would definitely not make a joke out of it. So, what was going on in Tenali's mind? Okay, I'm just going to the chat section. Most of you all have said, yes, I'm so happy you'll know how smart Tenali is, but I have my doubts on Tenali. Like, what idea could he have got? So, let's do one thing. Why don't we continue the story and check it out for ourselves? Yes, let's continue. So, he got an idea. Next day, he disguised himself as an old man and he had a saw and a mango sapling with him. He decided to plant it. Just when so the place that he decided to be was the same place where King Akbar gave a handful of coins, a bag full of coins to be precise, to the beggar. So he decided to stay at the banks of Yamuna. And when he saw King Akbar coming around, he said he's going to plant the sapling. So he saw King Akbar and his courtiers coming. That's when he started planting his mango sapling in the ground. And King Akbar was shocked. And he asked, old man, why are you planting the sapling? You won't even live to see it. So what's the use of it? He said, dear king, my forefathers planted the sapling years ago and I have eaten the fruits of it. Similarly, I wish that my grandchildren eat the fruits of the sapling that I plant. King Akbar was impressed with his idea and he said, that's a really great thought. And he gave a bag full of coins to the old man. And he said, you are doing a very good job. I'm proud of you. The old man said, King, he said that I have got the fruits of the sapling even before it has planted. And I'm really grateful to you. Again, the king was really happy with his answer and gave him another bag full of coins. And he said, very good. I'm impressed with your answer. And he said, and moreover, king, I got twice the reward as I could have ever got. So all thanks to you. And at that point, king was impressed again, and he gave another handful of another bag full of coins to Tenali Rama, who was disguised as an old man. And the minister said in his ears, King, you will end up giving all of your wealth to this old man. Let's get back to the palace. And he laughed it out. The king laughed it out. He's like, of course, we are going back. Just then, Tenali thought, see, I am so smart. They could not even recognize me and they gave me 3 bags full of coins as reward. So he decided, he took out his wig and he called out to King, King, look at me. I am Tenali Rama. And the king turned and he laughed and he really enjoyed. He's like, Tenali, you really are smart. I am really impressed with your wit. Let's get back to the court and enjoy. So Tenali Rama, on the next day, he went to the court and he told his stories and his jokes and everyone had a hearty laugh. And after staying in Delhi Darbar for like quite a few days and making everyone in their court, like giving them a thorough session of laughs and making them enjoy, he finally returned to the palace of Vijayanagara. And King, of course, Krishnadevaraya was extremely happy. And he said that you have really made me proud and Vijayanagara proud. So he said, King, but I do deserve some reward from you as well. So, of course, Krishnadevaraya really loved him and he laughed and he said, here you go, you get 1,000 gold coins. And Tenali Rama was really impressed and really happy and he said, thank you. And of course, you see how much gold coins he got in the end. So, you know what's the importance of being intelligent and using your mind properly, right? So, I'm just going to say it again from where we stopped. So, Tenali Rama got a nice idea. The next day, he disguised himself as an old man. He had a saw in one hand and in the other hand, he had a mango sapling. He was waiting at the banks of Yamuna right where he saw King Akbar the previous day. He thought that, okay, I'm just going to prove myself to him now. When he saw Akbar and his ministers coming, he started planting the mango sapling. And the king was shocked. He's like, old man, what are you doing? Why are you planting the sapling? you won't even get the fruits of it when you're alive. It like makes no sense. And the old man said, King, I ate the fruits of the tree which my forefathers had planted. Now, if I plant it, I want my grandchildren to enjoy the fruits of the trees that I plant. And King Krishnadevaraya was really impressed by his answer. He said, I am really impressed. And he gave him a bag full of gold coins. Tenali Rama gracefully accepted it. He said, make good use of this. Tenali Rama said, King, you have already given me the reward of planting this sapling in this life itself. What else will I need now? Now, King was impressed and he gave him another bag full of coins. He said, I'm really happy with your answer. Tenali Rama said, what's even better is that I got double the reward that I could have ever got in this life itself. And he was really thankful about it. And King Akbar was really happy with his answer, and he gave him another bag full of coins. That is the third bag. He's like, I'm very happy. And one of his ministers just whispered to him, King, what are you doing? You give up all his wealth to him. Give all your wealth to him in this speed. Akbar laughed and he said, okay, let's get back to the palace. Just then Tenali Rama removed his mask and he called out to King Akbar, please have a look at me. King Akbar turned and had a hearty laugh. He's like, Tenali, you indeed are very smart. I really appreciate your wisdom. Let's go back and have a nice talk. The next day, Tenali Rama went to the court and he made everyone laugh. This again continued for a few days till Tenali bid bye to Akbar. On returning to Vijayanagara, King Krishnadevaraya was very impressed. He said, you're the pride of our kingdom. And Tenali said, that won't do. You need to reward me as well, King. King said, of course I will. And he gave him 1,000 gold coins as reward. And Tenali was really shocked, but he was very happy at the same time. So he said, thank you. And that's how you know that wisdom really pays off. So you need to find a way whenever you're stuck in a difficult situation. Think carefully. There is definitely a solution for every problem. You just need to come across it. Look for it, think about it, and come across all possible solutions. One of them will definitely work for you. Okay? I hope you enjoyed this story. Yes, I'm glad you did. Okay, now what I have in store for you is puppet making. So today we are going to make a King Krishnadevaraya, not King Krishnadevaraya, King Akbar, because he played a major role in today's story. So yes, that's whom you're going to make today. So I'm just going to quickly show it to you and you're going to make it with me. So make sure you have your paper, your pencil, eraser, sharpener, color pencil, sketch pens, crayons, glue, scissors, and a stick or a straw. Okay, so make sure you have all of that with you ready and just give me a moment and we start. Okay, so is everyone ready with your supplies? Are you ready with your supplies? Okay, great. So we are going to be doing this only once. So make sure you all follow closely. Okay, so shall we get started? Okay, I've just taken like a piece of sheet and I'm going to draw. So first I'm going to start with the, the Mughals wore a very different type of, they used to call it like the Hindus used to call it pagdi. They used to call it like, I don't know, they cover their head with some kind of a crown. It's not a crown, but like this. They have something on their head which has, which is made up of cloth and precious jewels. So we're going to start with the head. So we'll make the cap type thing first. So I'm just making the front part of it, followed by a fancy part for the jewels, and then of course the top of it. Let's continue with the face. So that's how I'm going to make his face like a little slender, because Akbar was not a healthy, I mean not a plump emperor. So we're going to make his face a little thin. And of course his hair strands and his ear. Before we go ahead, let's make sure you all have done this. We have the front part of the hat, a place so that we can decorate it with jewels, the top part and his face, the hair strand that's coming out and the ear. Is everyone with me? Great, let's go ahead. I'm just going to draw 2 earrings because all the emperors wore jewels even on their ears. Okay, let's go ahead with this. I'm just going to cover and draw hair on both the sides so that it looks even. Done, clear? We're not going to repeat it. It's just a one-time thing today, okay? Because this video is a little long. Okay, let's go ahead. I'm just going to go ahead and draw his neckline because Mughals had a very different type of attire that they used to wear, not like the other emperors, the Hindu emperors. They had a tie in front, so we're just going to try and draw as simple an attire as possible. That's the neckline. Let's come to his shoulders. So Mughals loved flowers, okay? So one of his hand, I'm just going to use one of his hand to hold a rose. So I'm just going to draw one of his hands holding rose. So just holding his one arm, and let's go ahead. We're going to make his hand in a way that it's going to look like it's holding a rose. So yeah, and let's draw the rose next. Just like any normal flower, you don't have to be perfect in it. So just going to draw like a few lines that show as petal. Okay, and then I'm just going to draw a few strands of a few lines that will just make it look like he's worn jewels. Okay, done, clear? So most of his attire, his arms. Let's draw another hand. Maybe let's not draw the other hand. So I'll just erase that bit and we stick to the body that's there. I'm just going to erase the hand. So we're not going to draw the hand. I'm just going to end it over there. Yes, so I think we are done with the basic structure. Let's go ahead. So let's draw his facial expression. So I'm just going to draw his eyebrows and followed by his eyes, which are going to be closed. No intricate details required. Next comes his nose, his mustaches, and his mouth. Let's give a few more details for the crown. And I think we are good to go. This is how it's going to look. Have a close look. Is everyone with me? Yes? Great. Let us start. Just a few more jewels on his neck. Okay. So let us go ahead and let's color it now. So I'm going to use red for his headgear. Let's call it a headgear. So I'm going to like quickly color it. So make sure you all do it properly. So I'm just going to give it an outline so that my color does not go out. And let's color it. So I'm going a little slow today so that you all can finish it with me. Yes, so let's quickly finish it. So let's color it. You all can use any color of your choice. I'm just sticking to red. I'm going to do red and green attire for him. You all can choose your own colors. Next, I'm going to use red again for his neckline because I wanted to contrast his, like match his dress. So I'm just going to do red collar tape for him. And yes, I'm almost done. Let's go ahead. I'm going to use, okay, yes, I forgot to draw the sleeves. So let's color that as well. Red again. Okay. Then the rose, which is going to be red. You can make it pink. You can make it yellow. Whatever color you want. Because we have different color roses, right? Okay. Let's go ahead. I'm going to now next color. Okay, yeah, we have another jewel that is the earrings. So let's color those also red. Okay. Did I miss on anything? Not really. So let's color the skin. I'm going to color the skin. make sure that you use the outline first so that the color does not spill out. So I'm just going to quickly color his face now. I'm going a little slow for you all this time so that you all match my speed. Okay, so we are almost done with the face, the neck part. Yes, and then the hands. Okay, we are done here. Next up, oh, ears, of course. Next up is the hair. Let's color them. I'm using a tinge of brown. You can choose to have black as well. Your call. So I'm just going to quickly finish the hair and then we go ahead. I hope you all are with me. I'm not going too fast. I'm going a little slow this time so that you all can match my speed. Yes? Okay. Next up is the attire. So we are going to use green for it. I'm just going to do green for this one. And when you're coloring, just a tip, try and color it in one direction. You know, that becomes much easier to color and it looks much more neat than the zigzag crossing. I'm using color pencil. You can definitely use crayons. You can even opt for watercolors, acrylic colors, whatever you all wish to use. Okay, so let's quickly complete this. I'm just going to go a bit faster over here. So let's do that. And even if, you know, it does go a little bit out, it's okay. You all don't have to worry about that. So let's quickly finish it because you're going to outline it with a sketch pen anyway, right? So don't worry about it. I'm just going to color it a little quicker now. Last bit left. Okay, yeah, we're done with this. Let's go on to the jewels. So gold over here, another gold over here, and I'm going to use the same gold color for the headband itself. So let me just color it. Okay, let's do the circle with green to match the attire. Okay, like emerald. Okay, what is left? Let's start outlining. I'm just using my pen. I'm using an OHB. I don't think I've ever mentioned it before, but you all can use your normal sketch pen as well. So it does the same job as a sketch pen, so you all don't have to worry. And it does work over paint and all. It's just that it glitches sometimes, so you'll need to make sure that you are doing it with a lot of patience. Okay, so I'm just going to go a little fast in this portion. And I hope you all are also with me. Yes, good job, great. So yes, I'm just going to complete the attire first, and then we're going to come back to the face. And yes, I just leave, you know, sometimes I just draw it a little bit. I improvise it a little so that it looks a little realistic. You can just draw it perfectly as you're doing it. Okay, I know you're a really good artist, so I have seen your work before, the previous two puppets, and they were really good. Trust me on that. So I'm looking forward to this one as well. Okay, so yes, let's quickly complete this. Let's not get distracted. Okay, I'm just doing the jewels now, and then I'll just be left with the face. So yes, almost done. Let's make the rose a little more realistic. Yes, and the stem. Okay, let's make the facial expressions. Eyes, nose. Okay, mustache. I'm just going to color the mustache with the sketch pen itself. Okay, black. Here you go. And I'm going to first color the mouth in red and then outline. Always color it and then outline. Okay, otherwise it looks really shoddy, and we don't want shoddy work. Next up, we're supposed to cut it, and this is how it's going to look. So yes, that was really quick. I want you all to cut it right now. Okay, so I'll just give you all a few. I think cutting is easy, so you all can take like a minute or so, but make sure you all don't cut off your fingers and be very careful. You can use a cutter, but I would prefer if you'll use a scissor, whatever you'll have at the moment. And the scissor need not be really sharp, so like a normal scissor, but be very careful because you'll have like details over here which you will have to cut. Even if you don't cut it, it's absolutely okay. You can just make a box and leave it at that as well. If you want, you all can go into the details of cutting. Absolutely up to you all, but make sure you all don't cut your fingers. Okay, let's quickly complete this. Next step would be to flip it around and apply some glue at the back. So I'm just going to apply some glue, and I'm going to take my candy stick and I'm going to paste it behind. So yes, I'm going to press on it a little bit, adjust it, and voila! This is how it's going to look. And one of our main characters of the story was King Akbar, and we've made him. So I'll just show you how it's going to look in real life. This is how it's going to look. I've made this for you all. Okay, it's going to look beautiful. I'm pretty sure you all are going to make it even more beautiful. I'm really sure, because you all are really a talented bunch that I have. Okay, so I hope you'll enjoy today's story. Yes, great, I enjoyed it too. Okay, one quick reminder, you'll need to attend all the classes and make all your submissions in order to get your certificates. I hope you'll attend. I hope you're enjoying it. And stick around. I'll see you in the next class with another interesting story of Tenali Raman. Yes, until then, bye-bye.
Hi everyone, we are excited to have you here in today's fun-filled learning session at Uolo. Here is a quick look at how you can submit your work after the class. As a first step, go to live.uolo.com. You can use any browser to access this site. On this page, you will see a list of all our classes. Scroll down and you can see the Submit Your Work button. And then you will see a list of the classes that you've last attended, which could, for example, show the dance or craft or science experiment classes you've attended recently. Next, it will show you the list of children whose names are registered in this mobile number. Choose your name from this list to submit your work. For instance, if you are Satvik Kumar, choose that name. And then choose the class for which you would like to make your submission. For example, if you've attended the New Year's Masquerade Party session and you'd like to make the submission for this class, click on the Submit Your Work button below that. And then upload the photo you've taken. Choose the image from your phone and click Submit. You can scroll down and view all your past submissions and see how many of your friends or peers have liked your work. You can also see others' work and like their work to inspire your friends. If you want to showcase your work on social media, that too is very simple. Click on Share, copy the link and post it on Instagram or Facebook or any other platform of your choice. Just a tiny reminder, your submission looks a lot better if you could click a photo in the landscape mode rather than the portrait mode. Do not forget to tag us at YOLO_app